I want to start out by giving the Commonwealth's thanks to Congressman Rogers. And it's not for what we're doing here today. He actually was one of the leading players in bringing sanity back, at least temporarily, to the Congress of the United States in passing a budget finally. I believe it's the first budget that this country has had in 3 years. And he was a major player in making this happen. And we all owe him a debt of gratitude for that. And hopefully that bipartisan effort will take hold in Congress. Lord knows it needs to. I also want to welcome Secretary Vilsack to Kentucky. It's great to have him here with Congressman Rogers and me to see the momentum that we're creating here in Eastern Kentucky and to add to that momentum. You know, I've said all along that there are 3 things that would be required for our SOAR effort to be successful. The first thing, and the most important thing, is local engagement. Well, look at this. I haven't seen this many people in this room at Pine Mountain State Park in all the time I've been governor. And I've been up here to every one of these Mountain Laurel Festival events because I get to crown the queen, and governors don't miss that. But look at this crowd. Look at that 1,700 people that came to the SOAR Summit. The people of Eastern Kentucky know that in the end, if we are going to diversify this economy, if we're going to make long-term changes that will move this region forward, they're going to have to make it. You're going to have to make it. You're going to have to provide the leadership to move this section of this state forward. And you're demonstrating in Pikeville on December the 9th and today that kind of commitment. You know, I said at the SOAR Summit, right at the last, I said, you know, I'm the son of a Baptist minister. When I was growing up, we were in church every time the church doors open. And at the end of the service, we had what we had called the altar call. And that was a time of commitment. And Congressman Rogers and I on December the 9th made an altar call. We asked Eastern Kentucky and its people to come down front and commit to taking hold of this process and moving this state forward. And you have come in droves, and we appreciate it. We knew you would because you love this place as much as we do, and you want to make it the best that it can be. So local engagement, so important, and thank you for your involvement and your continued interest in this process. The second thing, partnerships. We will not be successful unless we have partnerships. That involves a lot of different ideas. Nothing ever gets accomplished without collaboration and cooperation. Collaboration between the public and private sectors, between different levels of government and among various segments of society, including business, social services, education, planning agencies, environmental advocates, energy producers, bankers, artists. Everybody is needed. And I think it's obvious so far that that kind of collaboration exists. The third thing that SOAR needs is the determination by all involved that this will be more than a planning exercise. As the Congressman said, we've got plenty of studies sitting on the shelf gathering dust. We don't need that. What we need can be summed up in one word: action. We need action. Well, action is what we're getting. Think about what all has happened since December the 9th, and the Congressman mentioned some of those. Just in about, actually not even 60 days, in just a little over a month. Exhibit 1, last week, as the Congressman mentioned, the White House designated an 8-county region of eastern Kentucky as a promise zone, meaning that the federal government will work with the region to accelerate those public-private partnerships, promote job creation and education opportunities, and improve access to federal grant programs. Exhibit 2. On Wednesday of this week, I stood with legislative leaders of both parties and both houses of the General Assembly to announce my proposal to spend $750 million over the next 6 years to extend and finish the 4-laning of the Mountain Parkway. Folks, assuming that the General Assembly approves my plan, and I believe that they will, this project will give eastern Kentucky the equivalent of a 4-lane interstate highway running from the Bluegrass all the way to Pikeville. And that is something that has been sorely needed for years. All you've got to do is look along any interstate highway in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and you see economic development. You see things happening. And that's what's going to happen as we 4-lane the Mountain Parkway all the way to 23 and connect up so that we can go all the way from I-64 at Winchester to Pikeville and beyond, all the way to Jenkins right now on a 4-lane highway. Exhibit 3, on Thursday, we announced a $400,000 grant that will allow entrepreneurs and startup companies in this region to qualify for $2.6 million in small business loans through the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Again, Kentucky Highlands Investment Corporation is involved here with Jerry Ricketts. We gave a grant to them to allow them to match and thus to take advantage of another $1.3 million from the Community Development Financial Institution within the U.S. Treasury Department. They raised $900,000. We added another $400,000 for $1.3, and that gets us another $1.3 for a total of $2.6. And that's just another example of the collaboration that I'm talking about. Exhibit 4, not long ago, Kentucky Valley Educational Cooperative and the 18 districts it represents in eastern Kentucky were chosen to receive a $30 million federal Race to the Top grant. That grant will personalize and improve student learning, increase student achievement, and educator effectiveness. It will close achievement gaps and prepare every student for success in college and career. Exhibit 5. State government has been looking for ways to offer more college scholarships for eastern Kentuckians to finish out their degrees. And Congressman Rogers and I have been looking for ways to expand high-speed broadband access to this region. Both of those things are critical to attracting business investment. The Congressman and I are hopeful that we can find a path forward on both of those things in the next few days and be able to make some announcements. Finally, Exhibit 6, representing more tangible action, is what Secretary Vilsack is going to be speaking about in just a moment. My friends, our promise on December the 9th to help eastern Kentucky was not an empty promise. We're not just talking. We are taking action. And as the old song goes, we've only just begun. Thank you very much.